Well, good evening, everybody. Darren Saul here, your host of Saul Searching, the Saul Recruitment Podcast. It's a very, very special show today, episode 30, with Maria Andreasson-Medina coming at us all the way from Oslo in Norway. Is that right?
That's correct.
Fantastic, Maria. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here.
Thanks for coming on the show. Now, everybody out there, today we're going to be chatting about the fact you have come as far as you imagined, or have you? Learn how visualization changes your life. So, Maria Andreasson-Medina is a consultant with the Proctor Gallagher Institute with a mission of helping people escape their mental prison to start living a life they want and fulfill their dreams. Maria is a very successful life coach who guides you through a life-changing process that will increase your quality of life and business. During her career, she has been through many organizational changes and developments that have given her a broad experience and knowledge that help leaders manage staff with a humble attitude to set goals and achieve them both personally and professionally. She is an eternal student of how we humans create what we really want in life and what is needed for our development. So, Maria, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
My pleasure. So now, Maria, I love to hear your story. I mean, tell us a bit more about why you do what you do and how you came to do what you do.
I always think of myself as an old soul, basically, because I always wanted to help people. And I thought that I was going to end up as a psychiatrist.
Wow.
Or a psychologist, something working with the mind has always been something that I've been very interested in. And but I do have a very big passion for traveling and serving people. So after doing some travels around the world and some beautiful dream travels that I had in mind, I decided to just jump into hospitality.
Yep.
So I made most of my career in hotels, and it was an amazing time as well.
Oh, I can imagine.
But it's all about serving people, and I love that. And I wanted to go even deeper in that, and that's why I started my coaching business and that journey.
And your coaching business is very focused around visualization in particular, or more?
It's about mindset. The
Mindset.
visualization is such an important part in our lives, and I don't think we actually realize how important it is.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a good point, because I speak to loads of people, loads of different coaches, loads of people that specialize in mindset, but not very many of them focus and talk a lot about visualization.
No, the thing is, visualization is one of our higher mental faculties that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And the part is that if you think about the world today, it's like the microphone you have, the computer, the phones, anything, all starts with a picture, an idea.
Yeah.
And you cannot create anything if you don't understand how important visualization actually is.
Yeah.
And that's actually the part that's going to really take you through everything, all the terror barriers that you will meet. But you need to have the right picture in mind.
I love it. So tell us more about, what your definition of visualization is and how it can actually help us. What can we do with it?
The thing is, with visualization, if we go back to what Maxwell Maltz talked about, it's a doctor, a plastic surgeon, actually, that really discovered that part of self-image.
Wow.
And the thing is, our minds operates in pictures. Whatever we do, we operate in pictures. Mm-hmm. And the servo mechanism we have, the subconscious mind that we have, it always is working towards a picture. It doesn't matter what picture it is. It could be good, it could be bad. It doesn't matter. It's very neutral. It just gets the job done, basically. And that's why many of the time I've heard so many people say they're so against really putting goals out there because they're a bit afraid of actually if they achieve them, and that kind of hurts the self-image if they don't. The thing is that it doesn't matter what things and what goals you put, if it's the daily goal, a weekly goal, a monthly goal, or like a decade goal.
Yeah.
you need to have a clear picture of what you want, so your subconscious knows what the target is. So it's basically the picture that you have is a target.
Love it.
And that's how our subconscious mind. It's much more deeper than that, of course, but that's just the more simplified answer to what visualization actually is.
Makes perfect sense, because the subconscious is really what drives us without us knowing it, and we have to feed it with the right coordinates.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it's going to go to the wrong place.
Exactly. You will end up where you are, but it's based on the picture that you have. So it's very impartial. So it doesn't care if you go in the right way or the wrong way. Just that's whatever you put into it.
Yeah. Actually, a quick question. I'm going to just throw something out there. You know how a lot of the times people say, some people are more visual, some people are more factual, numbers and, and text. Some people respond to stimuli in a different way. Because visualization is such a visual, fundamentally active process, what does that mean to someone who might not be a visual person, or it's not related to that?
That I would say is a paradigm. It's just something you have told yourself to be true.
Uh-huh.
And it's about beliefs. If you believe that you're not a visual person, it's a belief system only. But the thing is that whatever you do, you have a picture in mind. Yeah. If I tell you, like, how does your refrigerator look at your home? Yeah. You get the picture directly, don't you? Yeah. Or if I'm going to tell you, like, if you want to multiply 10 with 5, how do you actually do that? You do have a picture of the numbers coming up.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So whatever you do, you're actually using your visualization, but it's depend on how you think that would be affecting you. It's like people think that visualization is more for the people that work with poetry, art, are
more
very creative, and And I think that I had that paradigm as well before I actually started to understand what visualization really is. Okay. Because I was a beautiful problem solver. That's because I could really imagine how to solve that problem. Yeah. But I when people ask me, "Are you creative?" I was like, "No, I'm not." But I was, because I was actually using the creative part in visualization. But the thing is, I just didn't use it in my art classes in that way. But I was actually using it as a tool.
Exactly. And I believe we're all creative. We're all creative. We just have to exercise that muscle. And we have to identify that muscle and exercise it. We're all very creative. And even in business and work, there are many outlets for creativity. We can also be very creative in our daily life at work. It doesn't have to be an artist or a painter or a songwriter or a filmmaker or whatever it is.
Exactly. And the athletes, they visualize all the time. That's the way they practice. They make for golfers, they make the swing 1,000 times in the mind before they actually go out on the tournament or the practice itself.
Yeah, funny. So funny you should say that. Funny you should say that. What comes to mind is a movie that I love. It's called Rush with Chris Hemsworth. And he plays the part of a very famous English racing car driver. And in one of the scenes, he's sitting there for half an hour visualizing his next race. Every corner, every turn, every gear, and he's on the ground thinking about exactly what he's doing for the next race. So I think that's exactly right. Perfect example of.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. And imagine all the salespeople. Imagine you have this feeling that you are afraid to make a call, or it's because you have a paradigm telling you that you're not good enough, or that you have experienced something in the past that pops up every time you're going to make that move. Yep. But imagine if you really step down, have that half hour and just visualize the whole call, exactly how you wanted this to really roll out. What would you say? What would be the obstacles of the client that you want to reach out to? And just start to have this conversation in your mind, really visualizing how that would feel as well. The feeling is so important. And really really be living that conversation half an hour before you actually make that call. Yep. How would you feel when you already know that you're going to close that person?
Love it. And I love the way you said, how does it feel?
Exactly. How does it feel? So you will go into that call having the confidence you need, feel more prepared. And you know what? Most of the time, the call will look exactly like you want it to.
Yep.
And if it doesn't, you can just take that experience and start working with it as well, and start, what could I have done differently, and start making that call different for the next time.
Yeah, so true. I've heard a lot of people say, with regards to visualization and a particular outcome, is they say, visualize how you feel when it's finished.
Absolutely.
Visualize how you feel when you've made that call, it's gone well, you've achieved what you needed to achieve, and then that will take all the anxiety away from that whole process. Is that true? Yep.
That's so true. That's so true. It's because the mind starts really producing the right, I don't know exactly the English word in it, but the right dopamines and everything that is in there.
Yep.
And the thing is that the subconscious mind, first of all, doesn't know what's real and what's not real.
Mm-hmm.
So when you start to really visualize and start really telling yourself that the story that you want to believe it's true, your subconscious mind will say, okay, fine, if that's what you want, that's what I'm going to give you. And that's how it works. That's why it's so important to also let the mind really relax and really like chill. So because it needs its time to really organize the thoughts, all the action steps in its mind. And that's actually one good thing to really, if you are really stuck and you don't really know the next step,
yep,
just relax, let it go.
Yeah.
Let the subconscious mind do its work. Don't push it. It's
So
like
true.
having this computer and trying to open up the app, and the internet is not really going that fast. You push it, you press that button a zillion times before you actually something happens.
Yep. So
the only thing you're doing is really making the process even harder. So you just need to relax and let it go.
Yeah. When the
So
subconscious mind takes over, that's when the magic happens. But you have to let everything else go first.
Yeah, because whatever you do, your subconscious mind is always going to go for the best alternative.
Yep.
The thing is, when we and the logical part of our mind, the conscious mind, start to interfere, we're just cutting out that magic.
That's right, 100%. Wow. I mean, I love this kind of stuff. I'm fascinated by this kind of stuff. And I always say that I love to take drives. So when I run into an issue or I know that, I need to work through some stuff, I purposely don't try and work through anything. I just take a drive and put on some music, or maybe I don't put on music, and I just relax. And I know that after I come back, in that process, something will have come to me, even because I'm not actively trying to think about it, because my subconscious mind is being activated and I'm relaxed, and the answers always come to me by the time I get back.
Exactly. And that's why you give it the space to actually work out your answer, or the next step, or the next hunch or inspiration.
So true.
Not always comes the right answer directly, but it always comes with an answer. But you need to just be open to really to listen to it.
So true. Love it. And so, Maria, where does self-image and goal setting fit in with visualization?
The thing is, as I told in the beginning, like you need to have a picture, because our subconscious works with pictures.
Yep.
So the goal setting, the interesting part here is with goal setting is that when if you imagine you put a goal out there, and you have done it before, so it's not really new, but you know exactly how to get it, and that kind of boosts your your confidence a little bit, because you know you're gonna get it.
Yep.
The thing is that it's no growth attached to that, so you will never really feel that fulfilled, except the little time that you reach it. But when you get there, you're like, what's next?
Yep.
And that's why a lot of people are afraid to really put out really good big goals, because they don't know how to get there. But there is another level when it comes to goal setting. It's when you know that you can achieve that, and you have a kind of a plan,
yep,
but you're not there yet.
Okay.
All right, you can grow a little bit on that, but it's not a big growth that you will have. And the important thing when you put goals is that you really feel that you are growing. That's the feeling of fulfillment. That's the spiritual part of you wanted to expand.
Yep.
And when you really go for what we call the C-type goals, like the really fantasy goals, those are the ones that really make you grow, because they are so far out your comfort zone. And and to be able to get there, first of all, you need to start getting a clear picture of what that would look like. You don't need to know how you will reach that, which is one of the most difficult parts for us, for the logical mind to really accept.
Yep. And actually, and if you can do that, it's actually quite nice and liberating when you know that you're going to get there, but you don't know exactly how. You can actually enjoy the journey.
Yes, exactly. It's just enjoying the journey and having this beautiful picture printed out there, because whatever you can think of, you can achieve, you can really hold it in your hand. And people are still afraid of doing that because they need to know how they're going to get there.
Yep.
If they don't know the how, it's like they're lost. But the beauty part of it, that whatever you put out there, whatever image you hold in your mind, you can reach it. And most of the people just let their dreams die because they don't know the how.
Yep, so true.
And it's so sad.
Yep, and all it takes is a little bit of direction.
So the thing is that understanding the mind, you will start to understand how the process actually works and how the vibration that we are. So this is more talking about the universal laws, but still we are operating with the universal laws in this. The thing is that when you start to understand how you get to the next step and how your awareness actually helps you to get closer to the steps you still don't see,
yep.
You will have the faith and the courage to always take you to the next level. And at one time you will be there living your C-type goal. And it's when you connect the dots backwards, as Steve Jobs says, like you can only connect the dots backwards, never forward, because he doesn't know how to get there, but he knows exactly how he got there.
Oh, I love that. Is that what Steve Jobs... Did Steve Jobs say that? Did he? That's cool.
Yeah.
You can only connect the dots backwards. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. So you can only see the path that you have walked, but you cannot see the path that you're going. And it's the same thing when you're taking your car and going for a drive into a new city.
Yep.
And you never drove that way, that path before. You will not know exactly how the road looks like. It could look like anything.
That's right. I love
but just still having the goal in mind to reach to Los Angeles or to Seattle or to Melbourne or, Brisbane, you still need to kind of have that that goal in mind to reach there, but you don't know exactly how the road is going to go. It's going to be flooded at some point, or you don't know, but you still have the faith that you will reach that. And that's the same thing with putting C-type goals. You need to have the faith that you will reach that, even though you don't see how it's going to look.
And visualization is so important in that prospect. Exactly. So I'd love to chat about actual visualization techniques. Do you want to talk to us a bit about actually how we go about? What are the different ways, or what are the more simple ways for us to start actually incorporating visualization techniques into our everyday process?
I think the visualization is really letting go of the expectations. Mm-hmm. So I can tell my story how it actually turned out. Right. Because when I start to more conscious starting to use visualization, for me it was completely black. Mm-hmm. It was black. It's like I started to look at my goal, but it was like this black picture. I didn't see anything. Yeah. And the thing is that meditation really helped me to really calm the mind and allow myself. And then what you can do when you know what you want, and start looking at the people that actually already achieved it. Mm-hmm. How are they living their lives? What are they doing? What kind of house would you like to live in? Start looking at pictures, start looking at things that kind of start triggering the mind a little bit with pictures, because if you don't know what you want, it's very hard to really get there, because the universe won't really know exactly what to give you. It will just give you the next best thing that it can come up with, which is in your subconscious mind already. So it's really about just finding the pictures in social media, Pinterest, whatever you want to search for. Yep. And start really meditating and allowing yourself to have 5 minutes to really just push that muscle, because it's basically a muscle you need to really work with.
Yeah.
So it's not that you go and take like 100 kilos directly and just take it up like this. Start with 10, or start with 5 if you need to, or
Exactly.
2.
Yep.
Like just start small, and with time you will start really getting a clearer picture. Because the more clear the picture is, the easier you will get to it, because that's the part that you will really be very precise and will help you. All the subconscious will always help you to get the right action steps toward it.
Perfect. And should I,
So
let's say
just
that
start small and go bigger.
yeah, amazing. Let's say that I want to buy a particular car. Should I always have a picture of that car in front of me on the wall, on the bathroom window, on the computer screen? So I'm always looking at that car, and subconsciously my brain will tell me that's where you're going.
Yeah, because when you see it often enough, you will start seeing that, I think I could get that. And then after a while, it's like, nah, but that's actually, of course I can get that. And after a while, you will like, oh yeah, but of course that is my car. Like you need to kind of let the mind accept the idea, because you can have as many ideas in your conscious mind. If you don't impress that to your subconscious mind, you will not reach your goal. You will not have that car. You need to really get the emotional part to really connect to that picture, that image that you hold in your mind.
So it's really about finding a way to keep that image close to us, and everybody will be different in how they do that, but to have an active process for visualizing what it is that you want to achieve. And everybody will have a different way to do that, but the key is to do it. If you don't do it, then you're not telling your subconscious mind where to go.
Yeah, very true, very true. And when you start really putting emotions into it, because emotions is the real secret to really manifesting stuff, then it's when you start seeing yourself in the car, or go and kind of just test drive the car, make the feeling real.
Yep. Because as you said, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between reality and fiction. So you can trick it into feeling.
Exactly.
Gotcha. And then you know what those feelings feel like, and then you want them more and more and more.
Yes, absolutely. And that's the thing. When you reach the first goal that you put inside, then you start seeing that, oh my God, if I could reach this, if I could do this, I can have a bigger goal, and start having bigger goals.
Yeah, love it.
It's like climbing Mount Everest. Start with the base camp, and then you move yourself upwards. You don't need to go to the top of Mount Everest in one walk. You need to kind of sometimes divide it and
baby steps.
Base camp.
Love it. Awesome. So Maria, I'd love to hear a story or two of how you have worked with some of your clients. Obviously, you're not mentioning any names, but in helping them achieve a particular goal through visualization. And I'd love the audience to really put this into practice by listening to a story.
Well, I do have one call that I had that was absolutely interesting. And this guy, he was very, he loved what I was telling him about, but it wasn't one of the master classes that I had. And he's like, yeah, I see what you're meaning. And I felt that he knew what I was really getting into, but he was so resistant to really accepting the idea. Mm-hmm. And I told him, like, if you just do whatever I say to you right now, just do the visualization, have a clear goal, do this and that, and get back to me.
Follow the process, follow the steps.
Let's follow this process. And after a while, he did this. And after a few months, I think it was actually, he came back to me and was like, Maria, you just changed my life.
Oh my God.
Because he went from having, I don't remember exactly the kind of company that he had, but he went from absolutely zero to almost having 1 million, understanding that having the visualization in place was the most important part for him to just start and kick off his company. And he told me that I didn't want to hear what you said. But I did what you said, and it has absolutely been fantastic.
Wow, in such a short period of time.
He showed me the diagram. It went like this. In only 2 months, really understanding this
Amazing,
concept. It's not even
amazing.
a joke.
And there's another great saying. I think it's very famous philosophical saying says, "What you focus on grows," or something to that effect. So that's pretty much what we're doing here. If you visualize something, what you focus on expands. I think that's the saying. So pretty much that sums up a visualization perfectly. Because if
That
we're
is
focusing on it every day, it'll
Ah,
expand and we'll be consumed by it and we'll achieve what we need to achieve.
exactly. And the important part when you are visualizing is that you don't start doubting every time, because whenever you start doubting, you are cutting out the process and you need
That's
to
it.
start over.
That's when
So
you're
just,
killing your subconscious mind when you do that.
yes, you are. So you need to just have the faith that it's going to go well, despite of the circumstances, because right now I know the circumstances is everything in people's lives.
Sure.
With all the lockdowns and everything, and you don't really see whatever is
Yeah.
actually what you can actually create, because you have greatness within you. So only focusing on your high faculties, which is one, the imagination, perception, the will, the focus, um, and the reason and the memory, really focusing on really keeping your winning mindset, the
Yeah.
successful mindset going, even though everything is falling apart around you.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that really going to help you to really achieve the goals that you want.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, like there are millionaires being created today because people take the chances. They look outside the circumstances that are like they're blocking the circumstances and just focusing on what can they do right now.
Yeah. Yeah. As opposed to what they can't do. What can I do? Yeah, which is so important. But what always fascinates me is in terms of even mindset, but if I really break it down and drill down into visualization in particular, have you got any research or any studies that you've read about why some people are naturally just strong visualizers and some just aren't?
It's because it depends how you have been brought up. It's all about paradigms. It's about how you see yourself and what people in your surroundings have been saying to you in early age.
Mm-hmm.
It can be from decades back, from your grandparents and further on. Paradigms that are in your subconscious mind that are controlling the way you see yourself and the world.
Yeah.
And the paradigms, that's a belief system. It's based on the ideas, the thoughts, like everything that the pictures that you have put into your subconscious mind. So if you tell yourself that you are not a visualization, that you're not a creative person, that's the story you are telling yourself all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it all goes back to, do you truly believe what you're saying to yourself? And are you willing to challenge yourself if you want to change the result?
Yeah.
Because you can do whatever you want, whenever you want. The thing is that we have so many paradigms blocking our success path, and we are not even challenging the paradigms and the ideas that we have, the beliefs that we have.
So true.
When we start to really challenge those beliefs, that's when we can start to really become the person that we want to become.
Yep.
But in order to do that, you need to know what to put your focus on. What's the person you want to really become? And when you start to really focusing on that part, your old person will just obsolete, it will just disappear.
That's right.
Because you're not putting more energy to that.
Yep.
But you need to know who is the person that you want to become.
You're creating a new paradigm.
You need to create a new paradigm.
Yep.
So the other one disappears.
I love it. Fantastic, Maria. So if people want to get in touch with you to learn a bit more about how you work and how you can work with them, what's the best way for them to do that?
Well, you can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn. So I can. That's the parts that I'm most operating in.
Okay,
so
definitely.
LinkedIn
Facebook
with my
and
name, and
Beautiful.
same thing with Facebook.
Awesome. And how do you actually work? Do you work with people on Zoom, with Zoom calls? What's your process?
I do most Zoom calls. Yes,
Yep.
most Zoom calls.
Okay.
So I talk to people all over the world. So I speak Spanish, Swedish, and English.
Wow. And
so I help people all over.
wow. And I suppose it depends on the person and what they want to achieve,
Exactly.
as to how long you need to work with them for.
Yes, definitely.
So you can just tailor a program to whatever the needs are of the person.
Yeah, it depends what need they have, and we will work from there.
Okay, love it. Fantastic. Well, Maria, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure. I always love
Thank
talking
you.
about mindset, and it's been such a treat to be able to talk and drill down more into visualization in particular, because it's such a powerful force, and we don't spend enough time really on it a lot of the time when we talk about mindset. We talk about it from a more general sense.
Yeah. Now visualization is very important. So yeah.
So important. Love it. And the power of the subconscious mind, to me, it's an incredible force that, if we can tap into using it properly, it's amazing what we can achieve.
Absolutely. It operates not almost 95% of our mind and time. So
is that right? 95%?
Really get to know it.
95% is your subconscious?
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is.
Awesome. Well, Maria, thank you so much again for joining us all the way from Norway to chat. And is there anything that you'd like to leave us with before we finish up? Any final thoughts?
I would like to leave you all, listeners and viewers, that whatever you really want in life, go for it, because no one else will really realize your dream. The dream is yours, and if you don't put life into it, you will not really feel the fulfillment of really living.
So true. Love it. Love it. And enjoy the journey. Enjoy the process. Just kind of, don't try to connect the dots. We can only connect them on the way back.
Exactly.
I love that. I just
only see the path backwards.
Yeah, so cool. Well, Maria, thank you so much again. It's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you all the very best over there in Oslo, or near Oslo.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone out there, I hope you've enjoyed this discussion as much as I have. And we'll see you very, very soon for another episode of Soul Searching, the Soul Recruitment Podcast. Thanks again, Maria.